The S&P 500 has come out of the pattern that started on 1st of August. What was the pattern? Red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, and then finally on Wednesday 13th of August, another green. Now this Wednesday 13th of August, this has changed a lot of things for the entire US stock market. And the primary reason is that on 13th of August, the S&P 500 made a new all-time high at 6480. And then this all-time high that was seen on Wednesday, it was breached, and another new all-time high was seen yesterday on Friday, and that was 6481. However, the most important one is the Wednesday 13th of August. Why? Because it was not just about this, the all-time high 6480, it was about the 646x range that was supposed to be the all-time high. And it was not just about the S&P 500, but it was also the QQQ, which is the ETF of Nasdaq. So in the previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, I mentioned that the QQQ, when it enters into the 58x, okay, the exact numbers are 583/585. It is not actually 585, it is 584.60. Okay, so 583/585. As soon as QQQ enters into this, then this will be the peak of the QQQ, just like we were anticipating for the S&P 500, and then there will be a reversal. So now we are seeing a reversal in the QQQ, whereas the S&P 500 is holding, and the Dow Jones has yesterday made a new all-time high and has breached after 9 months. It took 9 months for the Dow Jones to breach its previous all-time high. So now in this manner, the indices are behaving differently. But as soon as S&P 500 breached the 646x, everything has changed. Everything has changed in a manner that I mentioned this to my Patreon community members in the first update. Because of this change, what will be the next all-time high? The next all-time high will be 655x. Okay. So what about the 646x, this range? It will act as a short-term point of reversal and not the actual fall or the point of correction or recession. Okay, this also includes the 649x. S&P 500 is struggling for last 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at or around the 646x. There is a struggle. Okay, so 646x is really a very heavy resistance, and this will also act as very heavy support that will help the S&P 500 to try for 655x. Then comes here comes the Dow Jones. It is actually the Dow Jones that has helped the S&P 500 to hold and sustain. Otherwise, the S&P 500 would have come down, just like the QQQ. Why and how the Dow Jones has helped the S&P 500 to sustain? That the Dow Jones heavily moved up on Tuesday 12th of August and on Wednesday 13th of August, and the closing was almost equal to the high of the candle, and also it was in open equal to low condition. Then what was supposed to be the outcome of this condition? So here, if you notice, this is the final update on 13th of August to my Patreon community members, and I mentioned that closing of the Dow Jones today in the open equal to low condition, okay, wherein it never breaches this price. In that case, what will happen? In that case, the next day, on Thursday, we can expect a gap up open in the Dow Jones, or irrespective of any open and initial or intraday bullish movement, and also there will be a strong possibility of a green candle in the Dow Jones. Then irrespective of the closing price or the closing condition of the SP 500, the entire market will sustain on Thursday, no matter what. And then in the first update on 14th, on Thursday, I mentioned that because of that condition that was seen, okay, on Friday, as per the point number 2 of the final update. Okay, so the Dow Jones, once it is confirmed that the Dow Jones is going to close as green, then the SP 500 will close in 646x or above, no matter what. And you can notice that the Dow Jones closed as green on Thursday. And because Dow Jones is going to close as green, so S&P 500 will close in 646x or above. And you can notice that on Thursday, the S&P 500 closed at 6468.54. Dow Jones will help it to move up, and the QQQ will put pressure, and even if the QQQ try to move up, then again the bullish side will be restricted and again it will have to fall. And how exactly it is going to fall, what will be the numbers in the bullish and the bearish side, that I am going to discuss in detail in this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. So guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, QQQ, Nasdaq, etc. in a manner for the entire stock market, entire US stock market, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, let me tell you that I have divided this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis in 3 parts. First part is the weekly chart. Okay, I will discuss the weekly chart and I will show you that the trend is bullish. Okay, bullish conditions are there, etc. Weekly chart means the trend. Second part is the daily chart. Daily chart, okay, you can see that now, okay, there was the pattern. So this pattern is not going to work anymore. Okay, but now because of this condition, we are expecting some pressure on the market. Okay, I will show you through the technicals and also the saturation. S&P 500 is going to hit the saturation. Okay, and also the Dow Jones. Third part is the probable movement. In the probable movement, I will tell you what will be the bullish conditions, what will be the bearish conditions, what will trigger bullish movement, to what level it can move up, what will trigger the bearish movement, to what levels it can come down. Okay, or if it is going to enter into the consolidation. Okay, that I will discuss in the probable movement in the third part. So now guys, I am going to begin with the first part, and this is the weekly chart. Weekly chart means one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. One candle means 1 week. Now if you notice, it's a normal bullish candle. There is no defined shape of the candle. Okay, there is no open equal to low, no open equal to high condition. Closing is also not near to the the high price. Okay, just a normal bullish candle. But the most important part of this candle is that the closing price of this candle, which is 6449.80, is above the high of this candle, that was 6427.02. Okay, this is the most important part of this candle. What does that mean? This does not indicate a gap up open. This simply indicates or allows an initial or intraday bullish movement in the S&P 500 on Monday. And also for the entire week, it allows the S&P 500 to sustain and to remain bullish. Even if there comes some confusion, then also it will help the S&P 500 to remain bullish. That's it. Okay. Now comes the Dow Jones. This is the Dow Jones. Now if you notice, although there was the all-time high yesterday on Friday, but the closing price of the Dow Jones was 44,946.13, whereas the high of this candle, the high of this heavy red candle was 44,946.98. And what is this? This is 0.13. Okay, both are 946, but it is 0.98, it is 0.13. So the closing is less than the open or the high price of the previous candle. Okay, this again means no gap up open on Monday. Okay, and yes, because of the shape of the candle, it allows an initial or intraday bullish movement, but at the same time it further indicates struggle. Why? Because of this. Okay, this was 0.98, this is 0.13. Okay, the closing of this candle is less than the open or the high price of this particular red candle. Okay, that is why a struggle will be there. Okay, and there must come a closing above the open or the high price of this candle, and I'm talking about the weekly chart. This means that by next Friday will be 22nd of August. So on 22nd of August, no matter what, there must come a closing above 44,946.98, because then only that will be the only condition that will trigger more bullish movement in the Dow Jones, and that will help the entire US stock market to hold and sustain, okay, and to remain bullish. Because if in the next week also there comes a closing, the weekly closing that is below this 44,946.98, in that case definitely, okay, we will anticipate fall or the reversal. And if On Monday and Tuesday, if in next 1 to 2 days, okay, or by Wednesday, if it is clear and confirmed that Dow Jones is not going to give a closing above this the high, then definitely intra-week there will be the fall. Okay, the short-term reversal that is supposed to be there in the S&P 500, then that will be there. Okay, now the picture will be more clear through the technicals. But guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner to the entire US stock market, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And also guys, remember that I have started to give the opportunities in the stocks, premium stocks, every day 5 to 6 opportunities. Okay, weekly 25 or more, and in a month more than 100 opportunities. Okay, with explicit buy, sell price, okay, or target or stop loss. And the most important part is the winning ratio. Winning ratio is more than 80%. Means the positive returns. And you can yourself check, okay, all of these opportunities that I have given, okay, every day to my Patreon community members. Now, in terms of the technicals, S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages, through the Bollinger Bands, and through the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. And the S&P 500 is bullish through the MACD on the weekly chart, and the S&P 500 is bearish through the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart. It is neither overbought nor saturated. However, if there comes one good or heavy green candle, then definitely in the next week, okay, it will hit the initial saturation levels, right? So in this manner, the S&P 500 is or will be seen as 80%, not 80, sorry, it will be seen as 90% bullish on the weekly chart. 90% bullish means heavy bullish trend. Now Dow Jones, so Dow Jones is almost the same, okay, because if you notice the moving average, the Dow Jones is bullish through the moving averages, through the Ichimoku cloud, through the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart, and the Dow Jones is bullish through the MACD, and the Dow Jones is bearish through the stochastic RSI. Okay, the numbers in the stochastic RSI are more bearish as compared to the S&P 500. There is no overbought nor no saturation. So Dow Jones is like 80% bullish on the weekly chart. Okay, but the most important part is that both of these indices are bullish or heavily bullish. What does that mean? This means that whenever there will be any confusion, the market will go bullish. Okay, even if there will be any fall, then that fall will be limited and that fall will be recoverable and will move up. So just like yesterday, okay, I mentioned that even if the S&P 500, see, first of all, what we know is that S&P 500 will trade in between 646x and 644x. That's it. Okay, this was very much clear after the first hourly candle form. Okay, now if the S&P 500 somehow loses the 644x, gives 1 hourly closing below 644x, then it will be heading to the 6427. Okay, then my level that is there, creating a zone, but with a condition that it will bounce back, it will retrace back to the 644x. Okay, so this means that for the entire day it will trade in between 646x and 644x. Simple. So similarly, in this condition, when the Dow Jones is 80% bullish, okay, S&P 500 is 90% bullish. So all of this means that the market, there is bullishness in the market. Okay, in case of any confusion, or if there will be any problem, or let's say if there is a surprise fall in the market, then also the market will remain recoverable. There will be the recovery. Yes, there will be the only 1 or 2 conditions that will be primarily through the S&P 500. Okay, that will not allow the recovery. Okay, but those conditions are not easy to achieve, the bearish condition. Otherwise, okay, any fall, surprise fall, recoverable. Okay, intraday fall, recoverable. Okay, so this will be there in the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. But remember, the most important part here in the Dow Jones is, and if it is clear in the first 2 days, okay, at most by Tuesday, if it is clear that the Dow Jones is not in a condition that it is going to close above the high of this candle, okay, which was 44,946.98. In that case, means once it is confirmed that it is not going to move up and is not going to recover, in that case we will expect more fall. More fall in the Dow Jones means from this closing, okay, again 3%, they will not be around 3%, they will be around 1.6 or 2%, 1.5 to 2% fall. Okay, this much fall in the Dow Jones means that S&P 500 will have to lose, means the S&P 500 will have to lose, will have to come down. Okay, and then comes the 6,400 psychological level. Okay, this will be very very critical for the S&P 500. But guys, whatever is going to happen or whatever will happen, I will keep you posted, I will keep you updated through these daily precise updates which I give to my Patreon community members. Okay, I give the pre-market analysis 1 or 2 hours before the open of the stock market. Then I give the midday update after 3 hours. Then I give the final update 1 or 2 hours before the closing of the stock market. And also I keep my Patreon community members informed, okay, posted through the comment post. And that's not all, because the recent addition of these opportunities, okay, 5 or 6 opportunities every day, okay, are very very much helpful to my Patreon community members, because in this manner they are getting more than 25 opportunities every week. Okay, and the win ratio is more than 80%. Okay, like 80 or more than 85%. So out of 25, more than 21 opportunities are giving positive returns. Okay, and the best part of these opportunities is that you are not going to wait for 1 week, for 1 month or so. No. Okay, you have to enter and exit within 1 to 2 days. Means the moment you enter, you are ready to book your profits and to exit from the trade. Okay, either on the same day or the next day, right? So I'm giving these the recommendation, okay, whether to sell or buy. Okay, then what will be the buying or the selling price, what will be the target, okay, what will be the stop loss, okay, or these are conditions explicitly. Okay, I'm giving these 5 or 6 every day, and these are really very very much helpful to my Patreon community members. And that's not all, because I'm also giving the S&P 500 midweek update, which is generally given every Wednesday, and it's a video technical analysis wherein I discuss all of the numbers, levels, precisely the movement, the bullish bearish movement, okay, the conditions, exact condition, whether there will be a fall, okay, or rise. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community in order to get these daily precise updates and the stock opportunities and the midweek update, then I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community. And when you follow that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page and this is my Patreon profile. And also you will see that there is a button. This button says see membership options. And when you click on this button that says see membership options, then you will see that there are these 3 levels, 3 tiers or 3 levels. Level 1 and level 2, okay, are same. The only difference is the geographical location, and you will be getting all midweek update videos, daily SP500 analysis updates, movement, levels, zones, momentum, and the opportunities. Okay, level 3 is special because whatever you are going to get here, by default you will get that in this, the level 3. Other than that, there will be a one-on-one Zoom video meeting, a Zoom video session, and through this, the one-on-one Zoom video meeting, okay, I will teach you the entry and exit secrets. I will give you one premium hack. Premium hack means accuracy is very very high. Very high means that I use these hacks, okay, in the daily updates that I give to my Patreon community members. Then the trading or options strategy, again very high accuracy. It is a modified strategy, okay. Then the modified technical indicators, I will help you set up your charts, okay. Options premium calculator, I will teach you how to calculate the premium price of any option, okay, and everything through this, the level 3. And guys, if you notice, many people have joined my Patreon community for last many days, weeks, months, years, and they are getting these daily precise updates every day from Monday through Friday, as well as the stock opportunities every day, 5 or 6 opportunities with very high accuracy, and more than 80 to 85% opportunities, okay, are in positive, okay, given positive returns. Then the midweek update. Okay, so guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community in order to get all of these, the daily precise updates and the stock opportunities and the midweek update, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link, you can join my Patreon community, and you are welcome. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the second point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and this is the daily chart. Daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 week or 1 hour. Okay, one candle means one day. So now let's first analyze the candle. It's a good red candle. Good red candle. There is no defined shape of the candle. However, the most important part of this candle is that the open price of the candle is above the open and the high and the closing of the previous candle, and the closing price of the candle is above the open price of the previous candle. So what does this indicate? Yes, there is one more thing. The high of this candle is the all-time high of the S&P 500. So as such, this candle indicates bearishness. Means this candle does not confirm a gap down open on Monday, but it does confirm an initial or intraday bearish movement on Monday. Okay, but because this candle also formed an ATH, an all-time high, so this bearish movement, okay, will not be a fall or will not be a heavy fall. Any fall will be limited or will be restricted. Okay, it will not give any heavy fall, just limited or restricted, and will try for the bullish movement again. But then comes the 6466. Okay, this is the heavy range, heavy zone. Okay, it will again struggle at this zone. And this is the Dow Jones. If you notice the Dow Jones, so Dow Jones formed an all-time high. Yesterday it has formed an all-time high. But the problem is that the closing of the Dow Jones was below the previous all-time high. Previous all-time high was 45,073. Okay, and yesterday Dow Jones formed an all-time high at 45,203. But the closing was at 44,946, which is below 45,073. Okay, what does that mean? This means that the Dow Jones is under pressure. The Dow Jones is under bearish pressure. Okay, this means that on Monday, the Dow Jones can give a gap down open on Monday. Okay, or irrespective of any open and initial or intraday bearish movement will be there in the Dow Jones, and the same we have seen in the S&P 500. Okay, both of these indicates that on Monday there will be an initial or intraday bearish movement. Okay, pressure, there will be the pressure. Okay, bullish side will be limited and restricted. There will be struggle in the bull side. Okay, through this the candle. Now, so it is clear. For the S&P 500, it is the 6466 zone. Okay, this is very, very strong, because what lies beyond the 6466? Okay, the 655x, that will be the ATH. Okay, it was not, but this will be. Okay, but yes, 6466x is the point of short-term reversal, short-term fall. Okay, 6466x or 649x. So that I will discuss in the next point of the agenda, the probable movement. Okay. Now let's analyze the technical indicators. But guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And so far, if you have liked this video, then hit like to appreciate, and your appreciation matters a lot. And guys, if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, and also these premium opportunities in the stocks, premium, okay, because more than 80 to 85% is the win rate. Okay, every day 5 to 6 premium opportunities, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now in terms of the technicals, what we know is that the S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages, bullish through the Ichimoku cloud, bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart, and the lower level charts are also now bullish. So S&P 500 is bullish through the MACD and is also bullish through the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. It is not saturated. Okay, yesterday when it hit the all-time high, then that time it hit the saturation, it was saturated, but now it has come down a little. However, it is very, very near to the saturation zone. This means that any more bullish movement in the S&P 500 will trigger the saturation, okay, and the overbought conditions. This means that the bullish side for now is limited, is expected to be limited. Once there comes a short-term reversal, a short-term fall, then it can try to move up without any fear. Okay, so well, in this manner, the S&P 500 on the daily chart will be seen or considered as 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. Now when you look into the Dow Jones, okay, The technicals of the Dow Jones are almost the same. Dow Jones is also bullish through the moving averages, Ichimoku cloud, and the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. And the Dow Jones is also bullish through the MACD and the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. Okay, it is also very near to these the saturation levels, but it has a little more room as compared to the S&P 500. Means if the Dow Jones remains and trades green for next 2 days, okay, then only it will hit that saturation by Tuesday or Wednesday. But if the S&P 500 trades green on Monday, then it will hit the saturation on Monday. Okay, in this manner this is going to work. Now yes, so in this manner the Dow Jones is also or will also be seen as 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. So both of these indices, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, are 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart and are 80% and 90% bullish on the weekly chart. This means that the market is bullish or is heavily bullish in a manner that any fall will be limited, restricted, and there will be a bullish reversal, a bullish retrace. Whereas because of these conditions, the saturation or so on the daily chart, and then this the closing failure, okay, of the Dow Jones, the bullish side as of now is restricted and limited. Okay, this indicates a movement wherein the market is bullish, it want to trade bullish, but it cannot. Okay, bullish side has very limited room. In the bearish side, so when it comes down in the bearish side, it will cool down the technical, then it will move up, and then only it will be allowed to remain bullish and to move up. But if it continue to move up, if it continue to remain bullish, in that case for 1 or 2 days it can remain bullish, and then eventually it will have to fall. Okay, so this kind of condition or this scenario is seen through these technicals. So now the exact movement that I will discuss, okay, in the next point of the agenda, that is the probable movement. But guys, before that, I have this important information to share with you. This is my S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. Through this program, I teach whatever I know. Okay, I will share with you so that you can become self-reliant and you can trade all by yourself without any external help for the rest of your life. Okay, confidently. Okay, you can trade. So I'm going to cover the basics and the advanced of the stock market, the technical indicators, modified technical indicators. I'll help you set up your charts. I will share with you the trading strategies. Okay, and then I will tell you that how to analyze the market. Okay, how to convert the manipulation into the opportunities, means how to convert the trap into the opportunities. Then I will teach you the options, the basics and the advanced, the options premium calculator. Okay, how to calculate the premium value of any option, the options strategies and everything, support and resistance levels, the price prediction, how to predict the price. Okay, just like I predicted 6147 will be the all-time high. Okay, then 4, 8, 2x, 4, 7, 9x will be the low, and then there will be a reversal. Then 646x. Okay, then the trend analysis. Okay, how to analyze that trend, okay, in a very, very precise manner through the technical, through the options, and how to reverse engineer. Okay, means options to the stocks like this, this kind of trend analysis. And then comes the hacks. Okay, these are the hacks with very high accuracy, and I use these hacks in my everyday predictions to my Patreon community members. Okay, so these hacks works almost every time. Then guys, these are some basic terms and conditions, and these are the snapshots of the meetings. So guys, whenever you want to participate in this program, okay, whenever you want to learn, okay, all of these, and you want to become self-reliant, then this is my email address. Okay, you can simply send me an email, okay, through this the email address, and I've given the link to this Google spreadsheet in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. Now here I will give you the probable movement, means I will tell you what is going to happen in the S&P 500, Dow Jones, okay, and Nasdaq, QQQ, etc., and in a manner to the entire US stock market. In the next week from August 18th, which is Monday, through August 22nd, that will be Friday. Now the first thing first, next week is there is nothing, okay, as such. Yes, on Wednesday, okay, afternoon, the FOMC minutes of the meetings will be released. Okay, through these FOMC minutes, okay, we'll get to know, okay, what the Feds are thinking, whether there will be a rate cut in the next meeting or not, okay, etc. So this will influence the movement of the market on Wednesday. Before Wednesday, on Monday and Tuesday, there is nothing as such. Then comes Friday. Okay, Friday morning. Okay, once the around 10 a.m. Eastern time, the Fed chairman will speak. Okay, Friday will be heavily volatile. So what does that mean? This means that Monday and Tuesday, because there is nothing much, this means that market can sustain and will sustain. There is no reason that why the market should go down. And even if there comes a bearish movement because of the conditions seen on the daily and the weekly chart, even if there comes a bearish movement, then that bearish movement is expected to be limited. Okay, not heavy, limited and recoverable. Unless the S&P 500 comes into the short-term bearish reversal. Okay, this is the short-term bearish cycle that I will discuss. Okay, after this. So otherwise, okay, there is no problem. But yes, once the FOMC minutes of the meetings are released, okay, if the minutes says something that the market is not expecting, then definitely, okay, the short-term bearish reversal, the pullback will start. Okay, then, and if it sustains, then Friday will be heavily volatile. Now, in terms of the numbers, what we know is that, let's start with QQQ. Okay, QQQ, what we know is that 583, 585, actually 584.60. Okay, this is expected to be the high. Okay, earlier it was expected to be the all-time high. As of now, QQQ is struggling. It is again expected to struggle if it try to move up. Okay, so I cannot rule out this possibility that this will be the, okay, this cannot be the all-time high of the QQQ, because you can notice that while the S&P 500 is holding, sustaining, Dow Jones is moving up and is bullish, the Nasdaq and QQQ, okay, are in this the bearish, this is the short term, okay, this is the bearish cycle. So because the 583, 585 in the QQQ is going to restrict the bullish movement, irrespective of anything, even if it is not the all-time high, okay, but as per my calculation it should be. Even if it is not, let's assume that it is not, even if it is not the all-time high, then also the QQQ will struggle. Okay, now what we know is that QQQ is the ETF of the Nasdaq. Okay, this means that Nasdaq will struggle. What we know about Nasdaq is the tech primes. Nasdaq is a tech index. Okay, primarily Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta, Tesla. These are the primary, these are tech stocks. And Nasdaq will struggle. This means that these stocks, okay, are going to struggle. Okay, not all, but some will struggle heavily, some will not. Okay, so in this manner, so we are reverse engineering through QQQ. Okay, otherwise it was supposed to be from stocks to Nasdaq to QQQ, but now in this manner. And because the S&P 500, the top 6, 7 or 8 companies are also these are tech primes. Okay, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Meta, etc. This means that S&P 500 will also struggle. Okay, but here the Dow Jones is a little different, because Dow Jones, okay, the composition of the tech stocks, okay, is not much. Only the Microsoft is valuable in the Dow Jones. Otherwise, okay, all other tech indices, the tech stocks, okay, do not have that much weight, and only Nvidia, okay, and Apple are the part. Otherwise, okay, no other tech stocks are the part of the Dow Jones. What does all of this indicates? All of this means that S&P 500 can move up. Okay, it can still move up. The only thing that is or that should happen in the S&P 500 is that there must come continuous closings above the 646x zone. That's it. And this is exactly the same that I mentioned in this update, the first update, okay, on Wednesday, when I have discussed all of this, that if the S&P 500 want to move up, okay, then not one, not two, but there must come continuous closings above 6x zone must come continuous closing, then only it will be in a condition to move up. Otherwise it will struggle, it will come down, because 646x zone, it is so heavy that earlier it was supposed to be the all-time high, but because it is not now, thus it will still put a heavy pressure on the S&P 500, will compel the S&P 500 to get into the short-term bearish trend, short-term bearish reversal. This means that if the S&P 500 gives continuous closings above 646x, okay, then it will be allowed to move up. Move up to what? Move up to 649x, this level. Okay. Now, if it try to move up, means if there comes no fall, as of now, if there comes no fall and it moves up, okay, and hits and tests the 649x level, then there will be a fall because of the multiple reasons. Why? First of all, S&P 500, it will hit the saturation through the technicals. Technicals will demand a fall. It will be disrespecting the 646x range, the zone. Then it moves up to the 649x, okay, which is, so there were 10% chances that it will be the ATH, okay. So then it reaches to this, then both of these collectively will put heavy pressure on the S&P 500, then it will come down, okay. And even if that is not enough, then here comes the QQQ, because the QQQ, when it try to move up, it will struggle, it will, okay, then it will fall, okay. And so there will be the collective the pressure on all of these attack stocks. In this manner, the bullish side, okay, in this manner the bullish side will be limited, will be restricted, okay. Which manner? If it remains bullish, if it try to move up, if it try to remain bullish, if it trades bullish also, it means it doesn't come down. There will be the second condition. Second condition means that as of now, okay, Dow Jones is indicating, S&P 500 is indicating, okay, initial or intraday bearish movement. So now the index comes down, okay, S&P 500 comes down, Dow Jones comes down, Nasdaq comes down, okay. So these the indices comes down, and there is very limited the scope. See, there is my calculated level in 640x, okay, and other than that the 6400. A condition wherein the S&P 500 never loses my heavy support, this the level, and never loses the 6400, and it defends, the S&P 500 defends the 6400 psychological mark. It comes down, but it defends the 6400 psychological mark. The closings are seen above, and also if there comes no breach, then that will be perfect, okay, remains above, comes down. In this manner, what will happen? In this manner, okay, there will be the 1.5% fall, okay, this will also suffice, this is the condition at 646x, and also this will cool down the technicals, okay. When it comes down, then QQQ will further come down, okay, then QQQ will be far from 583, 585, and then there comes a bullish reversal. Now, when there comes a bullish reversal, then S&P 500 will be allowed to test and to recover the 646x. Okay, this is the zone, and then comes continuous closings, and then it moves to 649x. Then, because 649x is a point of failure, okay, this is the level. So it will fail not the exact or heavy fail for 1 day, 1 to 2 days. That's it, okay. Because a failure from 649x means 646x. 646x zone will handle that failure, okay. If the S&P 500 fails to hold at 646x, that will then act as a strong support. And if there comes even a single closing below 646x zone, okay, after a rejection failure from 649x, then that will definitely, that will then trigger a heavy fall. That will then force the S&P 500 to enter into 6300 range, and then 633/37, okay, will be the target, okay. But before that, there will be two more strong support levels will be there, that will also handle the fall here. Okay, because see, in this case the bullish, why the bullish side will be open? Because the QQQ will be, it will be like, let's say it will be like 2%, 2% or more, okay, down. And when it try to move up, then it won't be able to recover 2%, okay. Before that, the S&P 500 will be able to recover, will be able to reach to 649x. Okay, so in this manner the bullish side will be there. But now comes the Dow Jones, because Dow Jones will be very decisive in defining the bullish and the bearish movement. Yes guys, I forgot to mention that if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And so far, if you have liked this video, then please hit like to appreciate, and your appreciation matters a lot. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, as well as these the premium opportunities, more than 80 to 85% winning rate here, and every day 5 or 6 opportunities or 5 or more opportunities. So whenever you want to get these opportunities and the daily precise updates, okay, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So now how the Dow Jones is going to play a very important role, because if you notice, as of now Dow Jones has not given even a single closing above the previous all-time high, that was 45,073. There is not a single closing above 45,073. What does that mean? This means that the bullish side in the entire US stock market, in all of the indices, okay, small, big, doesn't matter, will be limited and restricted unless the Dow Jones gives a closing above 45,073. At least one daily closing it must give, okay. And now, because yesterday when it formed an all-time high at 45,203.52, it has failed and closed below 45,073 at 44,946. Okay, on the weekly chart also I mentioned that this 44,946 is also below this the open price of the candle, okay, for the previous week. Because of this there is very heavy pressure, okay. So when there comes at least one closing above, then there will be chances that the market can go bullish. But when there comes 2 consecutive closings above 45,073, this will open more bullish room for the Dow Jones, for the S&P 500, and also for the Nasdaq, for the entire US stock market. Okay, because without fulfilling this condition, if the Dow Jones never fulfills these conditions, then 583, 585 is the all-time high of the QQQ no matter what. Okay, and the S&P 500 64, I mentioned that 90% chances that 646x will be the all-time high, and 10% chances that 649x will be the all-time high. Then 649x will be the all-time high. Okay, in this manner the market will then start to trade into this the bearish cycle, and then when it comes down, then there will be a staircase pattern. It will come down in this fashion, the staircase pattern, it will come down. So in order to avoid all of this, the bearish conditions, the pressure, all of this mess, the Dow Jones must give closing. Okay, one closing is okay. One closing will tell us that market has intentions to remain bullish, to go bullish. 2 closings are good. 2 closings will then it will confirm that yes, the market is in good shape. Okay, it want to remain bullish. But as of now, immediately the immediate relief is not seen, because the closing was seen below. Okay, the day it hit the all-time high, the same day it closed below the previous all-time high. This is going to put a bearish pressure, and if on Monday and Tuesday the Dow Jones managed to hold, sustain and absorb this bearish pressure, okay, and also the S&P 500 and everything, in that case, yes, it can remain bullish, not a problem. Okay, so bullish side, more than the QQQ, more than the S&P 500, okay, the bullish side heavily depends on the Dow Jones. Okay, once the Dow Jones gives, and yes, there is one more thing, it is not just 45,073. Once there comes, what we know is that once there comes 2 closings above 45,073, it is clear, good, fine, it is going to move up. Then it will also have to give at least 1 closing above 45,203.52, which is the recent high of the Dow Jones. Okay, now it has to fulfill both of these 2 conditions. This kind of demand would not have been there If yesterday the Dow Jones would have closed above 45,073, then there would have not been any kind of demand for the closing above this, closing above this. No demand as such. Okay, because in that case it was very much clear that the Dow Jones is going to move up, but now it has to fulfill both of these conditions. Okay, so Dow Jones is or was helping the S&P 500 to hold and sustain, but now at the same time the Dow Jones is creating a problem for the entire US stock market. Wednesday will confirm, Wednesday will clear when the FOMC minutes are released. Okay, and I will decode the FOMC minutes and I will tell you whether the market is going to remain bullish or bearish. Okay, in the post, in the first or the second update. Okay, after the midday update was the FOMC minutes are released. Okay, so it is, so bullish side will be seen through the Dow Jones. Okay, bullish side in the S&P 500 is 649x. Okay, for the 655x to come into the picture, 649x must not be the all-time high. Okay, whether the 649x will be the all-time high or not, it will be defined by the Dow Jones. Okay, QQQ we know. Okay, 583, 585. Okay, it will struggle here. But whatever is going to happen or whatever will happen, I will keep you posted through these daily precise updates. And also I will give you more than five opportunities every day. The premium opportunities every day. Okay, with a winning rate of more than 80-85%. And if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community and you're welcome. So guys, hit like if you have liked this video to appreciate, and your appreciation matters a lot. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, then you can use the comment section of this video to ask your question.